Hi, third grade. So it is time to do a science experiment, and I am really excited about this. What we are actually going to do today is we are going to create heat by using two simple ingredients. And no, you don't need a stove, you don't need a microwave, you don't need anything like that. So we're going to show how something can heat up without using anything like that. And it's by creating a chemical reaction, which you will get to see. So as I said, you only need two ingredients. As always, please ask your parents before you use any ingredients and any materials needed for this. You will need a small bowl. You will need measuring spoons. You will need a thermometer. Now, I have like a meat thermometer. You can use a meat thermometer. I would suggest using one of these instead of like the thermometer that you take your temperature with, only because it's a little bit easier to do, and I don't want to break your thermometer that you use for yourselves. So I would suggest using one of these. It doesn't have to look like this, but just a thermometer that you would use for cooking. You need hydrogen peroxide. Now, a lot of your families probably have this. It's good for like cleaning out wounds or things like that. But please do not handle this by yourself. Please ask a parent or another adult to help you with this. It can hurt you if it gets in your eyes or, something like that. So I just don't want to take any chances that you could possibly, get hurt with this. So please ask an adult or a parent before using that. And then you need yeast, dry yeast. Now, this might be something that your parents have. If not, it's okay. You can enjoy this experiment and watch as we do it. However, your parents may keep theirs in the fridge. This will be going in the fridge at some point after I'm done here, or it may be in the cabinet if it's unopened, but you need to make sure that you ask them if you are allowed to use some. You do not need much at all. You need a tiny bit of yeast. All right, so I'm going to pull this down here. So what we're going to start by doing is we are going to start by getting half a cup of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, we have half a cup here. You're going to pour it into the bowl. And what you're going to actually start by doing is you're just going to measure the temperature of the hydrogen peroxide. So let me hold it so you can see it. Okay, so it looks like it's about 67.6 degrees. It looks like it's staying there. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a minute. Now, you are going to add 1 teaspoon of yeast. Just 1. And you're going to stir it up. And then you're going to put your thermometer back in. What do you notice that the temperature is doing? And what do you see happening in the bowl? So, we are already at 81 degrees. Oh, 85 degrees. So it has already jumped from, if you remember, we were at 66, I believe, or 67. I don't remember where we were at. However, now we are at, 86 degrees. So we are at 86 degrees and it is still rising. So it has risen about 20 degrees. And all we did was put some yeast in the bowl. That is it. So let's talk about why this is happening. I'm going to keep this in here for now. It's already up to 90 degrees. Let's talk about why this is happening. So basically, hydrogen peroxide is H2O2, which means that it has one more oxygen molecule than water. And yeast has catalase in it, and that basically breaks hydrogen peroxide down into oxygen and water. So it breaks it apart, and the bubbles that you see here are actually oxygen bubbles. And I don't know if you can see this, but there is steam rising from this. So definitely, if you do this, don't touch the water. It is hot. It's already, looks like it's staying pretty firmly at, oh, it's 93. So basically these little bubbles are oxygen bubbles, and it's actually breaking apart the hydrogen peroxide down into water and then these oxygen bubbles. And that is what the yeast does. So it is making it warmer, and now it looks like it is staying pretty firm around 94. So it went up to 94 degrees, and like I said, it was in the mid-60s before. So it went up almost 30 degrees simply by putting some yeast in some hydrogen peroxide. So it made heat, and the bowl is warm. I can feel that the bowl is warm. I wouldn't say it's hot, but it is definitely warm. So we made heat, and we made a chemical change happen, which was really neat. So that was obviously a demonstration, but you can make this an actual experiment by trying different things. So try putting in different amounts of yeast. I put in a teaspoon and then half a cup of hydrogen peroxide. Try a different ratio. Try more yeast or less yeast, or more hydrogen peroxide or less hydrogen peroxide. Try dissolving the yeast in warm water first and then putting it in. Try mixing it with water in general. Put some water in there and some hydrogen peroxide in there, and then put yeast in. You can try lots of different things with this to make it an actual experiment. But either way, this is what might happen. And these bubbles are very fluffy, like foam. So I am excited about seeing when you do this experiment. I'm really excited to see what might happen. So I hope that you will be able to share that with me. As always, you can share your experiments on Flipgrid, Google Classroom, through Remind, through email. But I look forward to seeing you doing this experiment, and I am excited to share that with you. It's been fun. Bye, 3rd grade.